Welcome to Bird for Joy, a show about discovering all the different ways that bird watching can bring joy into our lives. I'm Candilynn Fite, your gracious host and fledgling birder. Here at Bird for Joy, we focus on listening and watching the birds around us, being curious and learning what the birds have to teach us about joy, life, and ourselves. So grab your favorite beverage, settle on your perch, and let's get into today's episode. You'll have to forgive my hoarse voice this week. I am experiencing seasonal allergies, and I could wait and record until after this passes. But with being allergic to Bermuda grass, which is what the farmers grow out here in rural central Texas, that could be a matter of weeks. And you may hear occasional banging coming from outside because my husband is working in his shop. So, as they say in show business, the show must go on. Recently, at a social outing, introductions were being made at my table, and I was asked, why is it, and I'm quoting, a lot of older people get into bird watching? Because I was sitting in mixed company, and I'm quite sure that the much younger woman than me wasn't asking to offend me, but merely inquisitive, I shrugged and said, well, first of all, because it brings me immense joy, and actually these days bird watching is enjoyed by people of all ages. The three other women sitting at my table were all about the age of my oldest daughter, which is 30. And as I mentioned, I don't think she meant to offend me. And honestly, I wasn't really offended in the slightest, but it did get me thinking, why did I wait until my 50s to start birding? I think the answer has more to do with timing rather than age. At this time in my life, I have way more time to do extra things. My girls are grown, and I don't live in the hustle-bustle lifestyle I did when they lived at home. No more parent volunteer jobs. I'm no longer a chauffeur. We don't go to sporting events or school functions anymore. I have the freedom to pick and choose how I spend my time and my energy, where I go, and the things that I do. This freeing of time and energy leads to a much clearer headspace for me. I don't have a million things zooming around in my brain. And whereas in the days of motherhood, where I didn't make me time a top priority, and I'm sure, like many parents, when there was an opportunity to do something that I enjoyed, I was just plumb tuckered out. So that was a really long drawn-out explanation for why I started birding now that I'm quote-unquote an older person. But if I dig a little bit deeper, I will admit back then that I struggled with allowing myself me time. Honestly, me thinking my martyr momdom would make me a better parent probably did my girls a disservice by not setting a good example and chasing my joy while raising a family. So, whether you're young, middle-aged, or older, if bird watching brings you joy, then by all means, you have to do it. Don't wait to pursue your happy until the time is just perfect, because there really is no better time than the present. If you enjoy bird watching and have littles at home, take them along with you. Start those baby birders early. Show them how very much that you enjoy the activity. Trust me, our children and grandchildren benefit tremendously from seeing us experience joy. Now, if you're middle-aged and thinking, what do I do with my life now? Spending time out in nature is such good medicine for the soul, and birdsong is a definite mood lifter. Birdwatching invites us to be curious, adventurous, and learn new things. You could join a bird enthusiast club or take a birding vacation. And if you're part of the older community and bird hikes or clubs just aren't your thing anymore, that's okay too. The joys of bird watching can be experienced in your own backyard, just like in the movie Field of Dreams. Instead of constructing a baseball field in your corn patch, you could put in a few bird feeders, maybe even a bird bath. And trust me, if you put them out, the birds will come. And for anyone of any age who may be out there who is new to birding and feeling inadequate and like you don't have enough experience behind those binoculars, it is okay. I was in the same place this past spring. There really is no better piece of advice that I can offer, except for you just have to jump in head first. If you're wondering how you will ever learn the birds, their bird song, and all of the amazing things that come with bird watching, I say no rush and take it one bird at a time. It doesn't matter your age, gender, race, sexual orientation, or identification. Birding is for anyone who enjoys the activity, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay, with all of that being said, there is a really cool birding project happening this summer, and it is not too late for you to join. The New York Times Birding Project is the perfect opportunity for anyone with an interest in birdwatching to participate in helping the Cornell Lab of Ornithology gather scientific data about the birds around us, and by doing so, we get to help scientists fill in the gaps, which will give researchers a better understanding of biodiversity and the birds. By participating, we get to become citizen scientists. And by gathering data, we can contribute in how researchers form decisions, ideas, and conclusions about conservation and the study of birds. And are you ready for the best part? You don't have to be an experienced birder to participate. Together, the New York Times and the Cornell Lab of Ornithology offer a ton of information and resources to help all level of bird enthusiasts. Okay, I just have to ask, are you excited yet? No? Okay, let me keep going. The project has already started, but you can still sign up, and it runs through September, and I will put a link in the show notes where you can sign up. This would be a fantastic summer activity for anyone of any age. Are the kiddos complaining about being bored? Well, birding can cure that. Families could do this together. It would get the young people out into nature and involved with something that is not only fun and exciting, but something where their efforts make a huge impact in science. It really is a win-win situation. Here are a few other ideas of the ways that you can get involved. Maybe you're part of a youth group. Y'all could participate together, as well as bird clubs, friend groups. Oh, and what about organizing a bird crawl in your hometown or neighborhood? Or maybe you're part of a wine or beer club and you help organize a bird crawl with drinking. Ready for this? Here's a couple things I came up with. A chirp and slurp, or wine and wings, and of course, birds and beer. You could meet weekly and then report your findings as a group. How about a book club? You could read a bird-related book and then bird on the side together as a group. A wonderful book choice could be Field Notes from an Unintentional Birder. And I certainly hope I don't butcher her name, but it's by Julia Zaronkin. It's a memoir, but it reads more novelish in my opinion. I listened to the audio version and was captivated the entire time. I will put a link to the book in the show notes as well. And as for the project, you could also just simply do this as a solo activity. There are so many possibilities. Not to mention, birdwatching is fairly low cost. Free, really, if you don't need or want binoculars or have to pay park fees. You could also use the free Merlin Bird ID app on your phone to help identify the birds around you by also sound recording their calls and create a list of birds that way. And since they're needing data from all over, your information can be gathered from anywhere: your yard, city streets, parks, parking lots, urban areas, or rural areas. Here's an example. This is a list of the birds that I either observed or heard this past week and recorded and listed on the eBird website. Red-bellied woodpecker, northern cardinal, northern mockingbird, Carolina chickadee, Carolina wren, snowy egret, mourning dove, Inca dove, American crow, white-eyed vireo, barred owl, downy woodpecker, the great-tailed grackle, red-shouldered hawk, painted bunting, tufted titmouse, blue-gray gnatcatcher, and the yellow-billed cuckoo. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a birdie-full weekend, and we will see you back here next week. So in reviewing and editing the second part of this episode about the Summer Bird Project, I realized that it sounds like an advertisement for the New York Times or the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. LOL, I promise y'all, this is in no way, shape, or form an advertisement. I am merely just your average birding enthusiast who is just really excited about being part of this super important project. As someone who is concerned about the future of our environment and how those changes will affect wildlife, participating in this gives me an opportunity to be a part of the solution and making the world a better, safer place. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. If you are enjoying the show, I would love it if you would follow or subscribe, rate, review, and then let others know about the podcast so we can continue to build a community of like-minded birders. A big shout out to composer Jonathan Boyle for his cheerful show music called Plucking Happy. The spoken lyrics were written and read by me, and the full version with lyrics will follow this episode. Until next time, stay chirpy, my friends, and get outside, feel the sun upon your face and the wind in your hair, and bird for joy's sake. Bird for joy's sake. When you're needing more, a new beginning, feeling lost, alone, or blue, go into nature. Stroll to the melodious tunes of birdsong. Let it refresh your soul, fill your heart, lift your spirits. Yes, bird, for joy's sake. Witness the winged wonders, flitting, fluttering, playing hide and tweet. Is there anything else so sweet? I think not. We'll save for the chitter-chatter of my own nestlings as they filled my early days, but sigh no more, for they have long left the nest, and I now strive to find myself once again, discovering new things that I do best. Bird, for joy's sake, for our feathered friends have much joy to share, and it doesn't cost a dime, only time. And I don't know about you, but I am willing to give, to have a chance to live out my days, filled with curiosity, hope, and wonder, learning patience, the art of slowing down and being fully present, living in the moment, something I have long strived to achieve. Bird, for joy's sake, and keep looking up. Let their constant cheer infect you, their tenacity provide you with lessons of never giving up, and looking on the brighter side of life. Prepare for entertainment with their quirky, chirpy silliness. Oh my, so much cuteness, happiness, and whimsy. You can't help but smile. And suddenly you'll discover worries cease, frustrations fade, chaos calms, and troubles melt away like snow in the spring. You will find yourself looking up and forward into the horizon, surrounded by song, hope, and happiness perched in your heart, feeling renewed and fulfilled. Go out into nature, take a stroll, let the avifauna rejuvenate your soul, and bird, for joy's sake.